Hello! I've been inspired to bring you some stories of my adventure across the dirt, dust and desert of South America, so I give you mountain hikes, lost bikes and border fights. We arrived at the border to Peru after a long 400-kilometre slog from the mountains of Ecuador. Having missed the border, turned around, ridden back the wrong way down a dual carriageway, been stopped by police and allowed to carry on, we found the border control complete with coachloads of holidaying locals and only 2 staff manning passport control. After 3 hours of queuing in 35 degrees, failed bribes to bump us forward and arguments with locals and guards not accustomed to the polite British queuing ethics, we finally break on through to the other side. Cocktails on the veranda and a dip in the Pacific. And so onwards, with a breakfast of coconut treats to ease the 450 miles ahead of us, we traverse the Pacific coast on the Pan American Highway, through the barren and blistering Atacama Desert, and climb 3,000 meters into the mountains to the ancient Inca city of Cajamarca, where the carnival spirit was in full swing to welcome us. The following morning, with only 100 miles to cover, it was playtime in the mountains.
Middle of nowhere.
Where's that come from?
The Andes in Peru, sir.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I mean, is he next to a moment, isn't it?
I haven't got a clue where I'm at half the time.
But just when things are going so well, food poisoning knocks me for 6, leaving me distinctly unprepared for tackling off-road mountain trails and one of the most dangerous roads in the world. Feeling drained and exhausted, but undeterred, we leave the tarmac for the isolation of the Peruvian mountain trails. Here's one top tip if you're thinking about riding off-road. Maybe for your first experience, don't try taking a fully loaded touring bike 10,000 foot up into the Peruvian mountains, suffering the after effects of chronic food poisoning. Maybe just try Wales. The challenge of glorious winding mountain trails in perfect riding conditions was both exhilarating and all-encompassing enough to take my mind off the sickness for a couple of hours. But when we happened across a remote mountain village, a break and a bottle of cold fizzy pop was as welcome as a cold beer in the desert. We caused such a stir pitching up in the village square that the mayor came out to greet us, and we had our pic taken for the local paper. Fame at last! And that's only lunchtime. When we eventually found the tarmac again, it was of course too much to expect a bit of a breather. Instead, a steady descent on Route 3N down the most stunning series of switchbacks, rivaling the Transfigurian and Stelvio passes combined, descending about 2,000 metres in 30 to 40 minutes. Next time on Stunning South America, we climb back out of the valley, rescue a stranded bike, and I get some well needed sleep.